Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this lovely 2022 Tesla Model Y long range that we have for sale. One amazing battery electric vehicle. It's made quite the impression on the world because it's now the best-selling vehicle in the world. Not just best-selling electric vehicle, but best-selling vehicle in the world. So those naysayers who say, well, it's too early for electric vehicle adoption and stuff like that, the technology needs to get better. Well, believe me, it's been there for a while, and it wouldn't be the best-selling vehicle in the world if that wasn't the case. And in the US, I think it's pretty far up there as far as best-selling car in the United States goes. The number ones are always the pickup trucks, you know, the Ford F-Series, the Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, and the Ram pickup trucks. But after that, when we get to crossover SUVs and cars and stuff, the Tesla Model Y is one of the best-selling vehicles that's not a pickup truck in the United States. I own a Tesla myself. I've had a Tesla for a year and a half. I've had a lot of experience with Teslas. At Infiniti of Tacoma, we've sold hundreds of them over the last couple of years, and part of the reason why I ended up buying one was just my exposure to Teslas. I'm a career car guy. I love all cars. I have gas cars. I have an Infiniti, but once you get behind the wheel of an electric vehicle and you feel how smooth it is, the power delivery, and just how nice it is not to go to the gas station. Your house is the gas station. You go home, you plug it in, you wake up the next morning and you have a full charge. That's really nice. And the Tesla Model Y has an EPA rating of a little over 300 miles, but sometimes EVs can be a little bit deceiving, and Teslas as well, as far as range goes, because since this one is equipped with lithium-ion batteries, it only recommends to be charged to 80% for daily use. So charging it to 80% is about 230 miles. There's a lot of things that can affect range, how hot or cold is outside, the type of driving you're doing. EVs tend to be more efficient around town. If you go 70, 80 miles an hour on the highway, they tend to go through range really fast. So those are all things to consider. But even at 230 miles, how often do you drive more than 200 miles or even 100 miles a day? In fact, I think the vast majority of daily driving for most people is less than 40 miles. So this should have plenty of range for you, unless you're like a traveling salesperson, or you drive a lot, or maybe if you do Uber or Lyft. Those types of people really, some Uber drivers put 100,000 miles a year in their vehicles. That might be a different situation, but for most people it's pretty straightforward owning an EV. Then you have Tesla's amazing supercharging network. So if you do need charging, there's fast charging all around. You could drive pretty much anywhere in the United States and be able to fast charge. And if we want to drive across the country to my home town of Boston, Mass, it'll figure out for you. Tesla has an amazing trip planner. It will always make sure you have enough range to get to your destination. If not, it will route you to charging along the way. It's very advanced. It takes into consideration outside temperature, tire pressure, how much wind there is. Is there a big headwind where you're driving that could affect range? So see, it plans the whole trip for you to Boston. So it's pretty much possible to drive almost anywhere in the United States in a Tesla with its amazing supercharging network. And if you always use a trip planner, and it even can figure out round trips if you don't have charging at your destination, that will take the range anxiety of owning an EV. And Tesla is one of the only ones that I know of that has a trip planner. We can see that the vast majority of the functionality is in the screen right here. Some people ridicule Tesla for making that so, but when you have hard buttons, those are there forever. You can't change those buttons. Tesla has reconfigured and redesigned the screen and improved it over the years with software updates. With over their updates, this is actually one of the few vehicles that you can buy that actually does improve when it gets older. A lot of vehicles become more obsolete, but with software updates, one cool one is the blind spot camera. They're adding things like Disney, but actually I think they might take away Disney because Elon's having a feud with Disney. But TikTok, Twitch, they add arcade games, they add stuff to the toy box. Really cool stuff. You have great parking cameras. And one of the aces in the holes is the Autopilot. Autopilot's traffic-aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate in its own lane. It's amazing. I use it all the time. If you drive a lot in the highways and stop and go traffic, I can tell you Autopilot will be a godsend. It works fantastic. It works fantastic. The Model Y is classified as a compact crossover, but since we're not hampered by the design of a gas car with an engine, transmission, gas tank, fuel system, exhaust system, you have a lot more space than a comparable gas-powered crossover SUV. One thing that really impresses people is the interior space, especially in the back seat. I'm 6'2". I'm not the smallest person in the world, and look how much space I have in the back seat. I have a ton of headroom, a ton of leg room. It is very, very spacious for a compact SUV. Probably a lot more spacious than most comparable size gas-powered compact SUVs. Lots of space back here. You can fold down the seats. There's also a camp mode as well. You have a little extra storage under here. Normally there'd be normally there'd be a gas tank or exhaust system here, but since this is an EV, it just leaves more room for storage. Pretty cool stuff. Performance is amazing. 0 to 60 right around the 5-second range, top speed 135 miles an hour. With the weight of the batteries, it's like an anchor holding to the ground. Very little body roll. This thing, even though it's a crossover SUV, this can put a lot of purpose-built sports cars to shame. It's actually a lot of fun to drive. You have this instant thrust from dual electric motors, no shift shock from a gear change. You don't feel the vibrations from a running idling engine. It's a completely different world when going to an EV. And honestly, a lot of times when you go to an EV for a while and you go back to a gas car almost seems kind of chaotic. Why are there all these vibrations? Why am I feeling the transmission shifting? Things like that. So yeah, it's no wonder why the Model Y has become the best-selling car in the world and one of the best-selling cars in the United States. We always have a great selection at Infiniti of Tacoma. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.